you're here because you want to find out how to change your push button flush unit over for a snazzy infrared flush that you see at the airports or all those lovely hotels you've been going to, then this is the video for you. I'm going to show you how to do that right now, so let's get on with it. Hold tight! Right, so what we're fitting today, the Siamp Optima Auto Dual Flush Contactless. What an absolute beast. Quite a big old box as well, but there is quite a lot in here against what you'd normally have in a flush unit because obviously we're going infrared. We're flying into the future. It's going to be amazing. So inside the box, we've actually got a couple of things. We've even got tools, instructions. Remember, if you're a man, throw these away and get it wrong the first time. If you're a woman, read them and get it right. And then inside, we've got the creme de menthe, the beast. Look at this. Whoa, there's so much in here. We'll have a closer look at this in a second, but this is our flush unit, also our power supply, and the infrared button sensor all in one. So I'll show you that in a few minutes' time. Also, the thing that I like for manufacturers to do is to send a little tool along so you can actually work on it. You don't need to use this if you've got a big set of grips and you're a qualified plumber, but if you're a DIYer at home giving this a go, very handy to have. And then of course, we've got extra screws because I'm afraid, guys, if you've not done this before, the screws underneath one of these toilets can go a bit crusty, and there's a reason for that, and it's best you don't think about it. One thing I'd like you to do before you even go out and buy one of these is measure the internal height from the bottom of your toilet cistern to the top of the lid. You need a minimum of 359 millimeters to a maximum of 420 millimeters for the Siamp Optima Auto to fit. So the first thing you need to do when you're going to do any of this sort of work is have control over the situation, and that means turning the water off. The water valve on here is just down on the bottom underside of this toilet, next to this lovely potty here, which they've only left here for me. Turn that off now. This is a slotted one. Sometimes when you turn these off, they stop working or they start to drip out of here, but that one looks okay. And we'll give that a good old flush. Lovely. Grab the Allen keys. By the way, everyone, you know the rules already. All the tools that I use in these videos, including these Allen keys, including that beautiful tool bag, you can buy on our Amazon store. So on this particular toilet, we've got to undo this little locking screw here, but every toilet is different. There's a different way of lifting the lid off and all the rest of it. So get yourselves acquainted with that as well. So we should lift this off like that. Great. Now we flush the loo. Now we just want to make sure that it's not filling up again. And then if we look at the bottom, you'll see what we've got here is about an inch's worth of water. So what is a really good idea for us to do before we move on with this job is get rid of that water. You can do that in a few different ways. Most of you probably aren't going to have a wet vac. I'm going to use a wet vac on this one today, but most of the time you're going to use a towel. So just stuff a towel in there, let it absorb it all up, go and have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, and then come back when it's all dried up and ready to roll. There's people doing a yoga class in there at the moment. Last week when I was working here, it was Pilates, now it's yoga. I'm about to ruin their karma, yeah, by turning on what is possibly the loudest Hoover ever invented. You ready, Max? Like that. Next thing we need to do is slacken off the water connection at the bottom that comes into our flush valve. So let's pop down here now, show you how. Right, so I'm just going to use a set of adjustables on here. Oh, look at that. So you get a little bit of water. That's kind of just running out of the valve itself, the valve body, but you shouldn't get any more than just pretty much what's there. So we've got that all emptied out now. All we need to do is get our cistern off the wall and off the toilet. Now, at the back of the cistern, we've got two screws here. They're usually in this kind of condition, so we'll probably change these over. I'm actually surprised they're even coming off. Be prepared if you're going to do this job for this being a slightly difficult bit, but just stick with it. Now for the next bit, and possibly the most difficult part of the job, which is, I mean, this is quite an easy job, but this could be the most traumatic because this is where you might find that the bolts that hold the cistern to the toilet, if it's that kind of system, have rusted for whatever reason. Usually it's because people have poor aims. Yeah. If that is the case, give them a spray with WD-40 and give it another go. If not, you're going to have to get a hacksaw blade, not the hacksaw, get it down in between the toilet and the cistern and actually cut through those bolts. Don't worry, once we've done this job, we're going to change them over for some nice fresh bolts. Oh, it's actually moved. See, that's one. Right, around this side as well. These are coming off quite nicely at the moment. I'm very, very happy about that. Now what we should be able to do is just give this a little bit of a wobble, just to get that kind of loosened off a bit. then I can lay this on here and we can work on that nice and easily. So our next bit is to just remove the old flush unit. We need to get this nut off, and probably for this job we're going to take these two off as well and replace those, because the guys at Siamp are good enough to supply some new ones. So we need to just get a set of grips like that on there, and we just undo that. Now these don't usually have to be done up really tight, but sometimes you find they are, and sometimes you'll have to grab the body on the inside as well to stop the whole lot from moving. But I should be able to just do that by hand now. Right, there we go. There's the old flush out. It just takes a few seconds to remove those old bolts. Often you'll find inside the bolts rusted anyway, but if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to get a screwdriver head on there and then undo the adjustable nut. On the other side, I found it was so crusted up underneath there that I had to get a junior hacksaw out just to cut the bolt off so we could put the lovely new bolts on that Siamp supplied with this kit, FOC. Firstly, we pop in a plastic washer like that. And then there's this tapered rubber washer. Now the reason we got the plastic one on there and then the rubber one is the plastic one protects this rubber washer from the head of that when it's all being tightened up. This will just feed into the hole like that. And then this one, they don't have a rubber washer on the bottom of these. Just pop that on there like that. And then we've got a brand new, nice little hex nut on there. I think you've guessed it, guys, already. This is not rocket science. It's a good idea at this point to use a slotted screwdriver inside just to make sure you really nip these up. You don't want these to leak once you finish the job, and you're only going to find out when you fill up the whole cistern. Also, make sure anytime you're putting something new on underneath that you clean off and make sure there's no scale or any dirt on the bottom of the cistern. It doesn't matter what make it is, make sure you give all the rubbers of the new components the best chance to get a watertight seal. Siamp make a whole range of flushes and also fill valves, and it's only prudent for us here to pop a new fill valve on. So we're going to put the 99T on. It's got a brass shank on it, and this is why it's important. The fact this is brass, these are usually plastic, right? And the fact that it's brass means that we're a lot less likely to cross thread or do anything like that, which can be a complete nightmare. In the end of it as well, we've got your standard kind of like noise reduction device. It just makes everything sort of fill up nicer. Right, so here's our old fill valve. Look at it, the old ball valve type. And you'll see on the underside, we've got an old type plastic one. And we're just going to whip that off as well. So look, everything's kind of nice and easy at the moment. It's all going incredibly well. So look, you see that there, horrible, get rid of it. Pop around here, have a look underneath, make sure that the seat of that is nice and clean. Do you open packaging in like a reckless way? Like Emily tells me off for it all the time. Because I've opened things that we've had to send back and it's literally like it's been ripped apart by a wild animal.
What, in pieces, you're like?
Yeah, it's going completely mad. Nice thick rubber washer on there. Little things like that matter. And just looking at this Siamp valve here, you can adjust the height of it by slipping that collar up and then pushing that down like so. And then you can re-lock it where it is by popping the collar down. And then also you can alter that with this sliding scale by twisting this knob here at the top. And we can then change where the float sits on that. So there's quite a lot of multiple ways we can do it. Also, these will fill up at full speed right until the last second. So if you have got like a high occupancy area, you're not waiting for ages for it to slowly fill up and you don't get that annoying sort of hiss noise that you get sometimes. Hopefully you understand now why it's so important to have a brass shank like this, because if we have a plastic valve on here, you have to be very careful about starting the brass nut that's going to make a watertight seal on the bottom. And what I'm doing is I'm making sure when we tighten up that our float here can move up and down independently. It's not dragging on the side of this or anything like that, okay? Now we've got that in and nipped up, let's meet this amazing infrared Siamp flush valve. The Optima Auto dual flush contactless, what a beauty. On the side of the flush valve body, we've got our short flush adjuster, and the sliding valve on the side is for the dead water level, which is the amount of water remaining after a long flush. You can change that for cleaning purposes. Then we've got our lovely button, which is all the end user is ever going to see. And powering that, because we don't have a power supply to this whatsoever, is our battery pack in here. This will take 4 AA batteries. So before we get started, we're just going to unplug the white wire like that, and then also unplug the red wire and just pop these two out of the way. Now we're ready to actually fit the valve. First things first, make sure again that the bottom of the cistern is nice and clean. We've got a lovely thick rubber washer supplied by Siamp here, but we still need to give it the best chance possible to get a watertight seal. Once we've got the valve pushed into position, we can use that lovely big plastic nut. And also, guess what? I mean, look, they didn't have to supply this. I could be using my own set of grips on this, but they've supplied one here for us. We've got this on there. Look at it, it's the perfect size. Then our donut just sits around here, like that. Take the old donut off there. Don't want that anymore. Again, just like everything, give that a little rub down. Make sure there's no like big chunks of residue on there or anything like that. These go into those holes. Right, and then our little bolts on there. Everything's so much easier now because we're using new stuff. Now I'd say what you want to do, almost do this like you're tightening up a drum skin on a snare drum. You do one side for a while, then the other. Then one side, then the other. And just keep putting a bit of body weight on the cistern so it squashes it down a little bit and squashes our donut up so we get a nice watertight seal on there. A couple of new screws in here. Before moving on, we just want to make sure that the actual flush and everything works okay, that we haven't got any leaks. So we're going to reconnect the bottom up here with our water supply, which should go up. See how easy that's gone up there on that nut, on the brass shank. First thing I'll do is just hold the valve float up. And now you can test for leaks straight away without having to wait for the water to come off. I'm holding the valve float up now. We've got the water on and we're testing that joint down at the bottom. Now I should just be able to let this down and start filling up. Lovely. At this point, it's a good idea to manually flush the Optima just to make sure you've got no leaks. Do that by lifting up the centre section and having a good look underneath for any drips. The actual kind of plumbing work is done. All we've got to do is build up and get installed our Siamp valve, the power unit that runs it, and get that all going. So first things first, got a little screw right on the end here. We just need to undo that and pop some batteries in there. Inside there, you've got some indicators as to which way the battery should go. Follow them. If you don't, it's not going to work, is it? Put it back there like so, and then do up your screw. Lovely. It's good to know, just in case the batteries do run out, you can actually press the infrared button at the top to also initiate the flush. Now I'm just going to pop that down to one side. Next bit, I just want to actually get the button on to the toilet top, the decorative top that we've got. Take a good look at this here. This patterning here matters a great deal in a few minutes time when it comes to connecting this on here, because we're going to pop that on there like so. So that pushes down, and then this will pop into there like that, and then we let go of that, and that's all locked. Very easy to remove if we have any troubles as well. I like it. So there's a cut out here. We just lay these down like so. We can then undo the nut, get our old one, and just take it apart with reckless abandon, throw it away, destroy. So one thing I want you to notice is if the batteries run out, we can still press this to flush the toilet. That's good thinking, I like that. It's redundancy. Get that bit of a clean down. Put those in there. Before I move on too far with this, I kind of want to keep most of the gubbins side, as I call it, away from our flush. So I just want to make sure that when I pop that in there, it's going to sit nicely away from our flush, and that does lovely at the moment, so I'm pretty happy with that. One thing I want you to look at, we've got multiple points here now to hang this battery pack from. So we can hang it on here, like so. We can have it on the other side, like that. We can have it end on. We can have it down here. You can have it in multiple places. Because of the way we're going to have it round on this, I'm going to hang it on there like that. Then before we just move on, we just have that up there, plug our power supply in, and then we plug our control in, making sure these two arrows, the arrow there and the arrow there, match up. Then, like I showed you a second ago, we just pop that, push that button there, that damper, push that, let that go, and there we go, that's installed. And now we just lay this in the top. Demonstration, just so you know, if the battery goes wrong, we can press that and flush the loo. So right then, so here we go, a hover, here we go, just over like that. And you've just seen me do that toilet job. You know how dirty my hands are. I now don't even need to touch that. There's about another 6 toilets here at this institute. Hopefully now they've seen that, they're going to want all of them to get changed over to this brilliant Siamp infrared flush valve. Hell yeah, baby. Right, so we've got a little sticker here. If we wave our hand over it really quickly, we get a full flush. And if we hold it over it, we get the half flush. I'm going to pop that up here. The toilet's going to flush now because I'm holding my hand over it. Right, so now we're going to do a little quick flush. We just hold your hand over that and then take it away. And there you go, little quick flush. Just to quickly flush away any of the smaller things you might put in there. Oh yeah, there you go, a much longer flush. Of course you can adjust the flushes like I demonstrated earlier on with the sliding scale up and down. And also if there's any problem with these, all you have to do is just unlock and then lift out the whole flush unit. You don't need to take all the cistern and all that off. So if there's any maintenance work you need to do, it's really easy. Really enjoyed installing the Siamp Optima Auto. Love the fact that they've built in loads of redundancy, loads of things that make it really easy for us as plumbers to install, but also DIYers or people just renovating their own home, looking after their own toilet. Love the other products that they do as well, so definitely check out the link that we've got to our Amazon store below. You'll find a whole Siamp section there and also this wonderful Optima Auto. I've done a whole playlist of working on toilets and that's showing up right now, so if you've got problems with leaking toilets, inlet valves, you want to install a whole toilet, then click on that to check out more. Please also click the subscribe button, like this video and comment what you thought about it below. See you next week guys, hold tight!